my name's Cameron. I have a story for you. Alrighty. Basically, when I was a teenager in high school, I had mental health issues, as many of us do. I was in counseling and stuff, and then eventually I found marijuana. And honestly, marijuana in some ways saved me. Like, not to be melodramatic, I'm not saying I was gonna fucking end it without it, but it really helped me a lot, That was when weed was still illegal and stuff. That was way before Trudeau was a fucking thing. I just kind of quickly, maybe at grade 11 or so, grade 12, just became a huge stoner for a period of time because I fucking loved weed. Like, I'd go out at lunch almost every day at school and smoke in the bush with people. Basically, it led me to make some pretty stupid decisions when I was baked because I was such a stoner at the time. One time, my good buddy Alex Cameron was having a party at his place out in Guswary Road in the country, rural Thunder Bay. And we used to go and party there every so often. It was always a good time. We'd jam and have a fire. Lots of people would show up. We'd all drink underage, and hey, it was fun. And one day I brought my parents' vehicle, and then I had the bright idea, sometime really late at night to go fucking hotbox the vehicle. So me and a bunch of friends went into the vehicle. We rolled a blunt. I remember Henry, the Thai King, pitched some really fucking bomb-ass weed. It was probably some heavy kush. White Widow, I bet. And we just rolled a nice fat blunt and went to my parents' vehicle and fucking hotboxed it, windows up and everything. Like, all the seats were filled, and we're just passing the blunt around, and super smoky. And I thought, I'll just leave the windows open overnight a little bit, and the smell will seep out. It's like I'm a fucking idiot and didn't realize the physics of smoke or something, how much it'd linger. So I do that, we all hotbox, have a good time. Then we all leave the vehicle. I crank all four windows open like that much, just a bit. Then the next morning, I knew this ahead of time. This is why it's so fucking stupid. But the next morning I had to wake up at like 6 a.m., drive that vehicle back to my parents' house where I lived, because my mom and dad, my brother, who was visiting from out of town, my grandmother, and my aunt, they all had to go to the fucking States. They had to go to the United States, to Duluth, Minnesota for a trip. And stupid stoner teenager me thought, the smell wouldn't be there, it'd be fine. So I drove home at like 6 a.m. after the party, pretty hungover and such. And I drove home with the windows like fully open. And I tried to just air it out as much as possible because like right away I could tell there was weed smell in there. Fucking probably hosed it down with a full can of Axe or something, like super classic high school stoner shit. Get home, and then I just go to bed because it's super early and I barely slept. And then I wake up, maybe around noon. My family is all gone in the vehicle to go to the border. I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm like on my computer, just hanging out on MSN, talking to people, shooting the shit on the internet, whatever, on YouTube probably. And then my brother texts me out of nowhere, and he's like, something like, dude, like, you fucked up. And my heart just sank. I'm like, holy shit, like, what? What happened? Obviously I had some idea, but my mom calls me and she's like crying. She like tells me that the whole family got stopped at the border because the border guy said it smelled like weed, and they fucking searched the vehicle and were like threatening to strip search my family and my brother, and threatening to strip search my poor grandmother. My mother, she was obviously mad at me, but she was also just being empathetic and concerned. My dad didn't want my mom to call me about it. He wanted to deal with me like one-to-one so he could really like bitch me out about it, And fair enough, like I get that. But everything was searched, and it was this huge fucking ordeal. Apparently the border guards were saying, if they found even just like a little shred of a nug of weed or something, they would blacklist the vehicle and prevent anybody or not the vehicle, but maybe my parents or the people involved, would prevent them from going over to the States. Like, it was such a big deal because weed wasn't even legal back then. So I remember my dad came home and had a very, very firm talking to me. And lo and behold, that was actually the moment my parents and everyone found out I smoked weed. They didn't know before.